Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in Mississippi. And like I said, the first time I came out here, there's a lot of people that's going to have to apologize. And this time, the weight is even heavier because there are some people that are going to get sued. I was able to interview Warren again to clear up some of the things that people had questions about after the first interview. And then we went on to interview two other young men who were crucial. And people are claiming they were involved in this. They clear it up all the way from text messages, from the keys and the phone being on the boat, the timeline from last year at Horn Island all the way to this year. And I'm telling you right now, for those of you who are balanced and fair, this is gonna blow your freaking mind. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I'm more upset about the narrative that was pushed after listening to these young boys tell the truth and show evidence. Some of y'all are gonna get sued, and some of y'all are gonna have to give apologies. You just wait until we finish this video and put it out. It's gonna blow the internet wide open. Stay tuned.
I fully understand why some black people are just a lot of times just so defeated and they give up. And even some of our people turn into raccoons and sellouts. I get it. I get it. You know, when Carmelo Anthony case dropped, we seen how W America went crazy, and we saw what they did to that black woman judge who's also a conservative. Even in the James Byrd case, it took like 30-something years in order to even get a bill passed, right? In order for us to get justice, you know, we got to go through so much, man, so much just to get any form of justice in this country. In regards to this Nolan Wells case, we see that a black boy went on a boat with some W's and he never returned. The family still doesn't have answers. Nobody's really being transparent. There's an investigation going on. We don't know what happened. What I am seeing though is a lot of people are coming out to protect the number one suspects in the case. The number one suspects would be those boys because they Nolan Wells would have been the last. They would have been the last people Nolan Wells would have been seen with. That don't mean that they did it, but in an open case, open investigation to an unaliving, they are all suspects. That's a fact. That's not defamation. That's a fact, right? They put out a GoFundMe and they was able to raise over $200,000 and go hire a high-powered attorney Andrew Pausick, right? Who is Joe McCann. Remember the Ashley Janae story? Joe McCann hired him. He was Trump's lawyer. Nobody's asking them what they're doing with the money or no. The same way you guys attacked question Carmelo Anthony's family, y'all ain't doing that with these boys. With these boys, they was able. So now Brandon Tatum is back down Mississippi, right? He's interviewing these guys for like a third time. Now warning them, they done brought friends, and they down there and they're talking some more, right? The police ain't talking. Nobody's talking, but Brandon Tatum and these boys doing a lot of interviews, but there's no movement or no talking from the police or the DA or anybody.
Go back to the very beginning of this. How do you think this should have played out? Because I always question in my mind that when I go back, I look at what happened, I look at the initial stories with Nolan, and you guys knew him, right? I didn't know him. I know none of you guys. I just had a chance to meet you guys more recently. But how do you think this should have gone? If you could control the environment, Nolan is found deceased. How do you guys think that this should have been put out to the world?
Well, first off, like I wish we would have never, like I think about this every day. Like I wish we would have never went out on the 4th of July because I know this wouldn't have happened. Nolan wouldn't be gone, and like it's really hard to think about because it's like I wish I would have done this different, or I wish I would have done that different because now one of my brothers wouldn't have like passed away. But I think from the beginning, I'm glad that I called the Coast Guard, and I'm glad that we came together as a group, even from the first day when people started texting us things, saying, you know, crazy things. But I wish it wouldn't have been reported as some type of race thing. I think it's really bad that like people are pushing the narrative, oh, this is a race thing.
And see, here go the mind control stuff again when they're talking about it's not about race, knowing the history of Mississippi and the way that the police was handling this case. Even before you got national attention, they was basically trying to make this an open and shut case. You have scores of cases where there's a lot of disgruntled black people in Mississippi right now with the way that their loved ones' cases was handled. But they'll come and tell you, well, it's not about race. Well, it may not even be those kids' fault. But you guys are born or live in a place where race matters. Race is a big thing in Mississippi, right? A black boy goes out on a boat, he don't come back. All the W boys come back. If they flipped it around and it was a W boy with a bunch of black guys and he was unalive, it would be about race. It would be about race right away. So now all of a sudden, it's not about race? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's about race until we get down to the nooks and cranny and find out what happened. Other than that, it's going to be a racial divide. Black folks ain't make it that way. That's Mississippi.
Well, obviously it's not. I mean, this is like a brother to us. I mean, Nolan's no different than anyone else in our group. And I just wish this wasn't pushed on the media as, oh, this is a bunch of white guys that killed a black guy, or this is, you know, like in the beginning it was like 4 guys went to a stranded island and dumped Nolan at the island and just left him there. Like even from the beginning, it was just like this thing and no one had facts and they were just pushing this horrible narrative, all lies about everyone, and it's sick. So I wish that would have been completely different. I'm glad I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad I made the first contact within all of this. I'm glad I was the first one that called Christine Wells that night and told her that we haven't heard from her son. And I'm glad that I did all of that, but I hate the way this has been perceived by the media and portrayed. This has like been absolutely horrible with the way and the things that they've said to us and done. But other than that, I mean, there's not much I would change from my point of view and my friend's point of view. I think we did everything right, and I know we did nothing wrong.
I think I also want to say, I think it's so criminal that they took something so anti-racist and flipped it into something super racist. Like they took, this is the definition of anti-racism. I mean, that we did not look at Nolan any different than I looked at him, or even you. You know, this is literally our brother. I mean, like we stated, we did not treat him any different.
And see, they're crying about racism, but they're doing interviews with one of the ultimate race baiters, and Brandon Tatum, right? He runs a narrative on baiting. That's what he does, right? And to me, they're not going to neutral places where people will ask them real questions. You guys are suspect in the case where somebody was unalive, because until all the facts come out, you guys were the last people that Nolan Wells was seen with. There's speculation about him being seen on the island that hasn't been substantiated by the police. The feds or whoever's the chief investigator of this, they haven't did a press conference and said anything. So right now, all that's speculation. What we do know is he left with you guys and he didn't come back with you guys. And you guys are born into a system where race is the mental fabric of America. Now, y'all may well be innocent. Y'all might have not did anything. Y'all may be guilty. We don't know. We don't know. I like to keep the integrity in my channel so you won't see titles where they did it or me telling. I'm not going to do none of that because I don't know Nolan Wells and his family. I don't know these guys. I don't know what happened yet, right? But I know where there's smoke, there's fire. We know that we got a black boy that's unalived in the state of Mississippi, right? Something ain't right. They're withholding evidence. They're being quiet. That means they're investigating something. That means that if there's something, because if it wasn't something, they'd have been came out. Them boys know, right? We have speculation that somebody was on a phone call with somebody telling them that they're going to jail for the rest of their life. We saw what you did. That hasn't been proven yet. I don't know because the police ain't said anything, but they wasn't done.
we didn't treat Trayson any different. We don't treat Trayson any different. And they just flipped it. And I just think that is so wild that they're pushing this thing that they're saying, oh, they want to end racism and all this stuff. Well, they're the one pushing it. They're pushing the racism. And I just think that's kind of crazy.
Morgan, what's your thoughts on this? How
Well,
does it affect you?
If I mean, first I want to say wish this would have never happened. I wish Nolan would still be here with us today. And but in my opinion, I think that the media, they shouldn't have pushed a narrative from so early. I think that they should have let the local officials do their job, let them release statements, and then, I mean, the media is obviously going to see that and then do whatever they do. But that's what I trust the local officials.
Now, mind you, he was supposed to be like their best friend. I didn't see no crying, no tears. Let me tell y'all something. If I took one of my friends out on the boat and we all left and we came back without him and he turned up unalive, we would have to answer to his family. I would be distraught. I would be sad. I'd be crying. I'd be devastated. Not one time my heart goes out to the mother, I'm so sorry. None of that. They don't seem like they're sad about anything, right? Even if you feel like race is involved, you know darn well that mother's a grieving mother and she lost her son. You guys could have came out and said, I can't even begin to understand how you feel, but I just want you to know that we love Nolan and we're sorry. You know, really sincere. We're sorry. I don't know what happened. I promise. I swear. No, they're not showing no remorse. Listen, even if they're innocent, right? Even if these guys are innocent and they didn't do anything, right? What we do know is he was last seen with you. He was last seen with you. I ain't seen near one teardrop come from down nobody's eyes or nothing. All they saying is they don't like the way such and such was handled. Well, how about when the governor came out, when the police made certain statements that they shouldn't have made in the beginning, but not being transparent about nothing, right? Then there's allegations of you guys telling Brandon Tatum that you made. No, I don't even want to say that. No, you know what? I ain't even gonna say that. But you guys ain't showing no type of remorse or nothing. But there's a whole lot of rumors, a whole lot of things swirling and circulating around. And I don't want to really get into all that right now until we hear something from the police. But that's Brandon Tatum down there again, milking this, making money off of this. He not donating it to the charity or nothing else. He doing it to fill his pockets, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.